Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to give you my first impression on Adventurer Zahard and Elite Spy Xia Xia. I'm going to start with Adventurer Zahard, and this guy is the first XSR Plus unit we have in the game. XSR Plus units are basically an alternative version of already existing SSR Plus units. In this case, Data Zahard got an XSR Plus version, and that is Adventurer Zahard. They are exactly the same in role, color, exclusive equipment, base kit, basically everything. The only difference is the Revolution 4 and Revolution 5. That's it. Which is extremely lazy from my point of view. They didn't even bother to change the skills that got the Revolution upgrade. They are exactly the same, the active skill 2 and the passive. And yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it's too similar to justify investing for like on a whole new unit. It is fairly cheap, even though I spent I think 900 normal summon ticket for this guy. You can definitely just go for the free attempts in the data tower and they will give you a few copies because every day we have 15 attempts. They should give us, if you have like Xia Xia maxed out, should be around like 13k chips. So every 2 days you get a copy, should be 7 copies if you start day one with a maxed out Xia Xia. It will obviously be a lot less if you cannot clear the last sector and if you don't have Xia Xia. I don't know the math on all of that, I didn't really bother too much to do it. But yeah, you can expect to get a few copies for free. I wouldn't go ahead and max him out. I don't think he deserves that. Unless, again, you're a whale, and if you are, well, you don't need to tell you that you have to max this guy out. But if you're not a whale, you're just a free-to-play, this unit doesn't really give you anything. He has a barrier break, but he has it in a base kit, and he can do that at 0 dupes. Revolution won't really bring a lot to you. This is not a unit that you should have maxed out in your account. It's really not necessary. Also Data Zahard is not a unit you should max out. So from my point of view, extremely disappointing. They should have done XSR Plus units a lot better than this. This is just lazy and just boring, just useless. I don't know. Kind of weird. I don't like it at all. And this guy also got decent Revolution upgrades, at the very least one of them, but is again not enough, guys. It doesn't justify good for him. If we have a look at the first revolution here, the golden needle is going to decrease evasion by 5% and increase the hard evasion by 5% with every attack, max 10 stacks. And these sounds good on paper, but the enemy needs to be hitting him. And there are a lot of times, like especially in Edin, for example, Edin will jump from different targets and will not really attack Zahard that often. So this one is not really going to proc against Edin that reliably, and is one of the few units where you want the evasion decrease. Other units maybe will work a bit better, but in general, when I needed it, it didn't proc, or it wasn't really good enough. So I will say, to me, this is good on paper, but at the end of the day, it's not really something that you will actually need. And the other one is even worse, because this one is a cooldown reduction for green elementalize when he changes weapon. It only happens twice, and it's just an 8-second decrease both times. I think this is more for himself, that he's going to have an higher uptime on the golden needle and the black sphere, and that's it. Because the other green units that are going to need the cooldown reduction, who are like, which units are those? Calavan, maybe. Charm Ray, not too bad to command Kobold to attack. Who else? Yasracha, maybe, yes, with the scratches and the provoke could be nice. But it's really only 2 times in a fight. I don't like it. And it's only for green elementalize. If it was for everyone, maybe you could have found some uses, but only green? No thanks. In general, again, very, very poor changes. Very basic. I don't like it. I really don't. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. But yeah, to me, this is not a really good change. And yeah, I forgot to mention that in reality, also his base kit was slightly changed, but only in terms of numbers. So like, for example, this one went down from 400 to 300. This one from 40 to 30. 600, I think, to 500. 62 to 52, something like that. 800 to 700. 80 to 70. So this guy has been nerfed in like numbers. This does not matter, to be honest. It's exactly the same. In Adventure, his damage was 0 anyway. All his damage was coming from destroying the shields, and that didn't really change. The defense decrease didn't change. Everything is basically the same. All the relevant things are the same. It's just damage was reduced for some reason. Makes no sense to me, but they did it. So yeah, if you're free to play, if you're a low spender, or just in general, this guy is not worth pulling for. Again, if you're a whale, just max him out as you do for every unit, as I do for every unit. So it is what it is. Then let's see, let's go to the main unit of this update. That is going to be Elite Spy Xia Xia. So her case is a bit different, obviously. This is a brand new unit. We can also talk about the fact that why the hell they have to release a non-existent version of Xia Xia when they have so many other options. But what can we do, guys? They're just weird. These developers are really weird. So yeah, here we have it. Adult Xia Xia. They made the adult version of Endorsi and SSR, but the adult version of Xia Xia, they made their SSR Plus. Okay, I guess it's fair. I guess. Yeah, right. But fine. So this unit is an absolute pain in the ass to face in Adventure. This passive she has is the most broken and annoying thing as an enemy, because she has a 3-second invincibility every 6 seconds that is paired with a massive heal, and that is also going to just in general make her super durable. She also has a 1200% attack as heal every second. Like, how are you killing her? Like, literally, this unit cannot die. She is invincible a lot of the time. She has a lot of healing from a lot of skills. Special move heals, this one heals, the passive heals her. If you don't have HP or cover block, this unit is not going down. So as an enemy, super annoying. As an ally, so when we're using this unit, she's good. I would say she's top 5, top 6 support in the game right now. I think she's definitely below Anniversariwa, Albelda, Towa, probably even Evan. But she's decent. Like, by no means she's bad. She's a really good and great support unit. Probably not one I would feel the need to max out. So if you are saving up for other units and you already have Towa, Rainbow 5, I don't think she's really too needed. But she's decent. But durability wise, she doesn't really provide too much. She has invincibility, but it's very short duration. And yeah, you normally either pair her with a DPS that doesn't need too much support to stay alive, like a Goose Tongue, maybe even a Revolution Bomb, those kind of units that have insane durability. And she's just going to integrate that durability a little bit, give it a little push, but nothing more than that. And she's also good at buffing the damage of attack scalers. She has a really good 80% defense decrease, and a bit more also coming from the exclusive equipment, but it's not really that high. And yeah, the damage or direction was disappointing. Maybe we're going to talk about that in a second. She has a buff removal in Revolution. She has also a lot of like self-sustain. This is one of the most durable supports we have in the game. It's very hard to kill also for the enemies. Not as much as we have problems killing the enemy Xia Xia, but definitely she can stay alive reliably. She's a really good unit at that. So she's a great support. I'm not too excited because she doesn't provide the insane value that Towa does, for example. But she's not too far off, let's say. That's kind of the way I see Xia Xia at the moment. And yeah, also for this one, let me know in the comments how you feel about her. And now we can have just a quick look at the kit. So we have the first one that every 6 seconds is going to deploy sort of a data field that is going to decrease the defense on enemies up to 2 stacks. There is no duration, so it should be up until the end of the battle. And this one, I will mention a quick thing. I don't think Zero Dupes Xia Xia is good, mainly because all her multipliers and the irrelevant ones scale with levels. So like this one is 12-second interval at level 1, that's really bad. 20% defense decrease on level 1, really bad again. And here we have, okay, 20% heal, we don't really care. The grenade is just damage and duration. We don't really care too much about this either. This one only lasts for like 6 seconds, 20% damage redirection, 600% healing. In general, is a lot weaker, but this skill is not even that good. I had high expectations, it didn't really deliver. And the special move is also very low heal, very low attack increase, very low HP recovery. So her base kit is really lacking. If you don't have her at least 3 red, the kit will feel really, really underwhelming. At 3 red, she's already fine, but as most of the latest releases, she really starts to shine with Revolution. A Revolution 4 is going to give her the 2-second invisibility for all allies every time she uses the special move, and also the 60% physical and magic resistance. This is useful if you are below like 300 deficit. If you're above that, they will start to fall off until they become entirely irrelevant. And in PvP, it could come in handy, especially if you pair with like Gustang. Gustang already has an 80% permanent increase in physical and magic resistance. With this one is 140%. So you just need very little to be able to sustain like 100% pierce enemies. So it's also quite good for PvP. But I'm not a PvP guy, so don't listen to me on that. It's just my speculation. And yeah, then we have the Revolution 5 that is also quite decent, is the buff removal I mentioned before. And also whenever she consumes one of the backup lighthouses from the passive, she's going to recover 500 energy, which means she's going to then proc the invisibility for the whole team. So overall, really good Revolution upgrades, and the kit at level 5 is really good. So in terms of the kit, we already read the first part here, the defense decrease, and every 6 seconds she's also going to gain 1 backup lighthouse with a maximum of 3. And whenever she goes below 70%, she's going to consume 1 to become invincible for 3 seconds and recover 40% of her max HP. This is a really good heal and also a really good invincibility duration because you have a 3-second invincibility every 6 seconds. This is massive. And if you have Revolution 5, you're going to get energy and potentially chain the 2-second invincibility from the special move, which is then going to allow you to cast the data field, gain another backup lighthouse, then you're going to go below it again, you're going to gain energy again, get the 2-second invincibility. So you have very, very little downtime on the backup lighthouses. You can always survive. Your survivability is insane. And the problem is that it's insane also as an enemy, because even if they don't have this 500 energy, well, they will eventually in hard mode, but let's not think about that. So even if they don't have this energy, enemies always get a shit ton of energy regardless. They always have a shit ton of it. So it doesn't matter. She will always cast the special move. She will not gain invincibility because, again, she doesn't have Revolution. But the sheer amount of healing she has in the kit is just too much. She gets healing here. She gets healing from the link here. She gets healing from the special move. She gets healing from everywhere. She will never die. She's so annoying as an enemy, but okay. So yeah, that was the passive. Then we have the magnetic grenade. This one is going to fire a magnetic grenade where there are the most enemies, paralyzing them for 4 seconds, pretty decent, and dealing damage over time. We don't really care too much about that, but there is an effect from the exclusive equipment we're going to read in a second. Reverse link, she's going to send a drone to the ally with the lowest HP percentage for 10 seconds, healing them for a huge amount. And then whenever, like she's going to also create a reverse link on the enemy with the highest HP percentage, redirecting 40% of target allies' damage taken to the enemy. This feels so weak. When the enemy uses it, she will deal a decent amount of damage. When we use it, no. I tried it also to just go full support. just to see how much of it was actually redirected. I could barely see it. So, I mean, she did kill a couple of units, but she cannot obviously carry on her own. This will be just a decent addition, but it's not something you can rely upon. It's just there, it's additional damage, fine. It will not work most of the times. It will either target the wrong one or just straight up your ally will not take damage. I don't know, but it will not really work that well. So I don't like that. That's unfortunate. And then we have this special move. She's going to become immune while casting it. That's fine. Restore all allies' HP by 40% of their maximum HP. Pretty decent heal. And then granting them Quantum State that is going to recover them HP every second for 10 seconds and increase their attack. Again, fair but not insane. Like 40% attack increase is pretty low. The healing is just whatever. You don't really care too much about that. But yeah, it's overall a really good unit. But I don't feel like she's mandatory. I don't think you should necessarily pull for her. If you are free to play, if you're saving up for a family head or for a carry unit, I don't think Xia Xia is one of those support that you must have. If you have her, you will use her. She will definitely boost the damage of your attack scaling DPS units. But to me, she's nowhere close Towa level in terms of impact for your account. So I don't think she's that must of a unit. She's definitely decent. She's definitely good. She's a strong unit. Again, as I said, I think she's top 5 or 6 best support in the game. So definitely not a worthless unit. Again, if you're free to play, it's probably better to skip, I believe. But yeah, if I figure out something else during these weeks of playtime, I will let you know. But this is just, again, my very quick first impression. Let me know in the comments how you feel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!